Assalamu alaikum. Greetings and peace and blessings to everyone, whether you're watching live via YouTube or via Facebook. I'm your brother, Supreme X, the CEO and founder of Forward Money Corporation. And just a little bit about our corporation and what we do. Um, we provide a service. We provide financial education, we provide real money. We teach people how to get involved in that type of aspect of real wealth building. And we also highlight what's going on in the United States economic system. You know, we talk about the banking system and how all that is a trick and how we have been robbed of our wealth. So this is our broadcast, and this is pretty much the first one. We did do a pre broadcast a couple of weeks back, but we wanted to make sure that we had the right technology because we wanted to give it clean to the people, and we wanted to make it look appealing. So we upgraded our technology. We upgraded the stuff that we have. So we are now doing better, and we have advanced with our organization. And so this is just another broadcast that we have. We do have our show that comes on Saturday night, uh, which is titled which is titled the Future of Money Show every Saturday night. So Separation of Death will be the show that kicks off our week. And we're just happy and we're excited, and we want to thank everyone for the support. We have hit the mark of 200 subscribers. So not only can you listen to us, view us and see what we have going on and support us, but we are on Instagram, Forward Money. We Facebook, Forward Money. Now we have a Twitter account, Forward Money. So we on all pretty much major platforms, right? So we want to thank everyone for bringing and highlighting and supporting our channel and supporting what we do, because we're just trying to get the information out. We're trying to do, and with this coronavirus pandemic, with us being quarantined, we try to come with ways to still be able to push our mission. And that mission is, if you don't know, I am a member of the Nation of Islam under the guidance and leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we do have the Final Call newspaper. But however, since this pandemic has broken out, we only push the digital Final Call. We do have it digital. If you see the ticker at the bottom, you do see that, and you see it say subscribe to the www.finalcalldigital.com, and it also says donate to Muhammad's economic blueprint. Right? That's when we wage earners are, we throw money in a pot and we start to acquire land. If you want to get involved, I want to help us have a pot where we can start building our own institutions, providing shelter, clothes, food for our own, you know. So that's what this broadcast is about, Separation of Death, and we will be streaming live every Tuesday at this same time, 10 Eastern. So please support it, like it, share it out. All right, so I want to get into it before we get started. And like one more time, I want to say shout out to all of the people that did subscribe, newly subscribed to our YouTube channel. We have reached the mark of 200 subscribers. So we thank y'all. Thank y'all. So without further ado, let's get started with the program. But before we do that, we're going to let the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the man of the hour, set the tone for this broadcast tonight. So we got a quick clip that we want to show him, and this lecture was in 1981. I just want everybody to listen, and we're going to get into the articles. And what the articles we're going to get into tonight is the main two articles, Wa Alaikum Salam. The two topics that we're going to get into are articles out of this, the latest Final Call, which you see up here in the right-hand corner. We're going to get into the United States postal system is on the brink of collapse due to what something Trump is doing, and it's a major wealth disparity going on in South Africa with our brothers and sisters over there. And we're going to go to Washington first, and then we're going to go to South Africa. And everybody can chime in. If you have any thoughts about anything, you can say You can comment. You got any questions, any concern about any of the information that you hear, anything dealing with us in Forward Money and what we do as active members. And if you want to get involved, we have that for you as well. So please stay tuned. But right now, let's get into our short clip, and then we're going to get into the heart and the meat of this broadcast.
You Muslim scholars, you are looking at the birth of the kingdom of Islam. We called you here like the wise men of old who saw a star and they traveled to where the baby was. The baby had no room to come to birth. She had to give birth in a manger, or come to birth in a manger. The wise men who saw the baby came bringing gold. What baby needs gold? All babies that I know of need milk. But here's a baby that needs gold. Gold for what? It's not talking about a child being born from a single mother. It's talking about a nation coming to birth that needs gold to build its own institutions and carve out a destiny for itself.
So, all right, family, that was our short clip right there. And we highlighted that because the minister was giving us insight to what a new nation, a people that want to be an independent nation, he was giving us insight to what we need, to build our own institutions, for us to be independent. So we cannot build a nation on another man's dime currency. So on this broadcast every Tuesday night, we're going to highlight certain articles out of the Final Call newspaper, but that deal with economics, whether it's in the United States, whether it's global. We're gonna just deal with it because all of our people are suffering worldwide. This is a worldwide pandemic or epidemic that's going on with us, right? So we have to provide whatever services we can. And us in Forward Money, we have a service. Not only do we have a service, we have a solution to some of these problems. We feel like wholeheartedly we have the solution to this problem, to the wealth gap in America, in the world, right? So we have the kryptonite to the enemy system. So let's get into the broadcast, and we're going to start first with we're going to go to Washington, D.C. first with this latest article that was released by the Washington Post. The United States Post Office on the brink of collapse. And let's just see. I'm not going to elaborate on it. We're just going to let the paper or the writer talk about it and show us what really happened. But before we do that, we want to highlight certain articles in the Final Call newspaper. We got a lot of stuff going on. Justice for Ahmaud, the brother who was killed by two white terrorists. We just gonna call it like it is here. They are terrorists. The man was jogging. I think it was in Georgia, in a country town in Georgia, and he was 25 years old, and they killed him in cold blood. That is an article there. So this is something that we all should get to. We got stuff about coronavirus, committed to service. We got and why you should support the Final Call newspaper, because this is a black operating newspaper that doesn't have any outside support other than the people itself. Nobody supports us. We don't get nothing from the government from this, nothing from no other corporation or nothing. So as you go here, we got the centerfold is always an article from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We have a article from the Mosam Ali Muhammad. We have how to eat to live. We got dietary information that you can help you get clean. If you're struggling with sickness or virus, you can definitely read the final call, How to Eat to Live. You can get books 1 and 2, written by the most honorable Muhammad. That will help you out with that sickness. That is an article in it too. And then at the back page, we have the Muslim program. So what the Muslims want and what the Muslims believe. If you want to know what we are all about, you definitely want to go and check out this Final Call newspaper. Like I said, it's about $4.99. I mean, a month. Yeah, $4.99 per month. The registration link, what you need to do, the subscription link is on the tab running down, and you can get, I think, it's like $13 for 3 months, and it comes out every Tuesday. So this is the one, our latest paper right now that we're going to get into these 2 articles today. So let's get into it. All right. United States Post Office on the brink of collapse. On the brink of collapse. Now this article is deep, and it's gonna tell you why we are affected by this. Why we are affected by this, right? The United States Postal Service is at the brink of collapse as he signed legislation aimed at rescuing struggling businesses and individuals from the ravaging effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. President Donald J. Trump lashed out at the post office even as more people than ever are relying on the mail. The Postal Service is a joke. This is Donald Trump. This is the president. The Postal Service is a joke because they are handing out packages for Amazon and other internet companies, and every time they bring a package, they lose money on it. Mr. Trump said at the White House April 24th when he signed the second congregationally approved multi-billion rescue legislation, right? The post office, this is still Donald Trump being quoted. The post office, if they raise the price of a package by approximately 4 times, it will be a whole new ball game. But they don't want to raise because they don't want to insult Amazon. They don't want to insult other companies, perhaps, that they like. The post office should raise the price of the packages to the company, not to the people, to the companies. And if they did that, it would be a whole different story, he said. The Washington Post called Mr. Donald Trump claim that the United States Postal Service loses money on every package it delivers for e-commerce merchants baseless. The past history of this thing is that President Trump has a running battle with the president of Amazon for some time. Dale Fames, National Labor Director of the National Alliance of Postal and Federal Employees, NAPFE, which was founded in 1913 by Black postal employees, told this writer in an interview. Now, what precipitated this confrontation, I don't know. But he has made it very obvious, and he's been very outspoken against Amazon. I wonder that it got something to do with him, with big corporation, whatever. So he battling at war with another big corporation, right? This thing is deep, and we're gonna show how it affects us in the long run, right? I feel this is a trend with President Trump at things he can't control, our influence, he tries to get rid of. And he has a thing either directly or through some of his associates of wanting to privatize the Postal Service. Mr. Flames continued. At least 30, this is deep now, listen at this. At least 30 Postal Service workers have died from COVID-19. The United States Post Office has reported more than 1,200 confirmed cases of the virus. In addition, workers report there is a lack of protective gear in their workplace. For decades, the Postal Service has been a haven for Black employees, for Black families like mine. The Postal Service has long been one of the few reliable paths to the middle class. Actor Danny Glover, whose parents both worked at the post office, said in an interview in October 2019. When I was growing up in the 1950s and 1960s, my family planned our vacations around big picnics for post office employees. The United States Postal Service is one of the leading employers of minorities and women, with minorities comprising 39% and women comprising 40% of the workforce. The agency says at, at USPS.com, at least 21% of those employees are Black, 8% are Hispanic, 8% are Asian Pacific Islander, and 0.67% are American Indian, are Alaska Native. Before the civil rights movement opened the nation's professional jobs to qualified Blacks, often with advanced degrees, who were denied employment in the fields of their expertise because of their race, the post office, even though it was often a lifeline, earned a reputation as the graveyard of Black ambition. Now, the decline in mail delivery due to business shutdowns during the coronavirus pandemic is hurting United States Postal Service. The leader of the Postal Service said it could run out of cash by the end of September 2020. Wow. According to Snopes.com, the Postal Service is not losing money because of Amazon. It is actually earning a profit, except for a punishing piece of legislation passed by Congress in 2006. It was the Postal Accountability and Enhancement Act, and it required what no other government agency and no other private company has ever had to do. The law forced the Postal Service to pay 75 years into the future of retiree health and retirement benefits. Ironically, that includes workers who not only did not work there at the time, but workers who haven't even been born. Wow. There has also been speculation for many years that there's a push to privatize the Postal Service. That, according to Mr. Fames, is a bad idea. The main reason is that we are providing field service, our delivery service, to every citizen in this country, whether they live in the city, the suburbs, or a rougher community. Now, by privatizing this, we are talking about over 600,000 employees that are going to be out of work. Now, how many of them Black? A whole lot of them Black. Y'all just seen the numbers, right? Are going to be out of work. And again, even if a company or corporation does step into fill the gap, 9 times out of 10, most of the workforce that they use are going to be gone. So again, it's a double whammy for the employees and for the American public in general if this thing comes to privatization. He continued, speaking from a labor standpoint, or from the standpoint of the only introductory labor union that maintains our freedom, we are primarily founded as a Black organization because of the fact that the Postal Service in general will not sit up there and give free fair service to minority employees. But be that as it may, we were instruments in making a lot of the inroads for minorities, not only in the Postal Service, but in the federal service in general throughout the years. And this again with what Trump is doing, making that very difficult for primarily minorities, because most of the demonstration complaints brought by NAPFE are being generated by minorities, and the court system, unfortunately, is controlled by the Republicans. And so people are starting to ask the questions, if this system is fair, or is this something that we are wasting our time doing? Wow. And so it's an uphill battle with that. But the ramifications of not funding the post office is scary. We came into existence primarily for the fact that we are one of the few organizations that the Postal Service can't control. In other words, we don't work for the Postal Service. We don't work for other unions like, the AFL, CIA, or CIO that the agency can influence. So in other words, we're out there independent. We're looking over their shoulder. We're holding them accountable primarily for statutory law violation. So this is one of the things that our hot and cold relationship with the Postal Service has meant. It's a semi-nightmare. And I think all postal employees are hoping that we wake up and find out that's exactly what the thing has been, a nightmare. Mr. Flames continue. Even if Trump doesn't get reelected, it's going to take whoever comes in there at least 4 or 5 years, if not longer, to even begin to rectify the damage that Trump has done. Now, I know we're supposed to be apolitical, but again, it's one of these things. Trump has forced a lot of the apolitical institutions to take a stand. We can no longer sit on the fence. Man, this is deep, family. And it's a showing that the stuff that the United States government is doing with the Trump administration is targeting, who suffer the most, rather. I'm not going to say it's targeting us. We know it's targeting us, but who suffer the most, though? Who suffer the most from something like this? Who suffer the most from something like this is the Black community. Whenever the government does anything, whether if he beefing with Amazon, he got some type of animosity with Amazon, we are affected the most because the Postal Service was that one job that Black people could get, right? That paid a decent salary, that paid decent wages, right? We're talking about, handling the mail, and then how serious is the mail to the American people. So this is one case that we got to say separation. So it comes back to separation of death. Now that organization, NAF, the National Alliance of Postal and Federal Employees. This is a Black organization that was founded in the same year that the Federal Reserve was founded, in 1913. The same year that the Anti-Defamation League was founded, the same year that the IRS was founded. So this is deep, and this is why we need to get this paper, because how many of y'all have seen this on CNN, on Fox, on NBC? How many of you seen any major outlets or media talking about this? This is why this Final Call newspaper is so important, not just to you if you in the nation, but to you if you just Blacker than America, or just period, because when I used to be out with the Final Call, I had a lot of white, Mexicans, Spanish, not so many Asians, but a lot of white people buy the paper because they know the good news and the good content that's contained in the paper, right? Because they know it's unbarred, it's unfiltered, it is straight actual facts, and it always gives you the source so where you can go and cross-reference what we put in the paper. And like I said at the beginning, we don't have any outside sponsors. So we can put whatever we want to put in the paper. This is the freest newspaper, the freest media outlet on the planet, right? And I just like to say that due to a sacrifice that Mr. Louis Farrakhan did way back in like 79, we are still here with this paper today. So this is the longest running international, and it's an international paper, So please subscribe to the Digital Final Call family, and please donate to Muhammad Economic Blueprint. And if you're watching on Facebook, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fard Money. All right. And if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the thumbs up, share this out, make comments, and like I say, leave your comments about anything that I might have left out, and we could answer them at the end of this of this stream. But now we want to shift gears. So now we want to go across the water to the Eastern Hemisphere, and we want to go and see what's happening with our people in Africa. So we want to go and see what's happening with our people in Africa. So where is that article? So here we go, Africa Watch. And this is always in here. So, you know, we get this, and I want to talk about this for a minute because this is crucial, because we always got stuff in here that's going to take you around the whole planet. You know, I remember being out when I loved being out to find a call you to ask them. You know, they be like, I got news, I got it on my phone, this and the third. I be like, where you want to go? They be like, is that Birmingham news, is that Tampa news, or whatever, Tampa Sentinel? Now I'm in Tampa, Florida now, right? They ask this question. I be like, no, it's international. If you just want to stay in Florida, then you get the Tampa Sentinel. But if you want to go around the world, you get to find a call. You know, and the same thing when I was in Birmingham. If you want to stay in Birmingham, then you get whatever Birmingham news outlet they got, right? Birmingham Times or whatever. But if you want to go around the world, you get the Final Call newspaper, family. This is what you get. So let's shift gears real quick. And then we're going to wrap this up, family. But I hope y'all enjoying this. So please come in and like this if you're enjoying this, family. And we're just trying to bring good content to the world. I won't go over this whole article because it's pretty long, but I will go and get to the base of it, right? So, Africa Watch by Jaron Muhammad. How you pronounce it? Jaron Muhammad, right? Coronavirus pandemic and the economic freedom of Black South Africa. And like I said, this article is always in every issue of the paper. It's always something dealing with Africa, dealing with the Caribbean, dealing in Asia, dealing in Europe. It's going to take, this paper is going to take you literally around the whole planet, right? Oh, I missed that. It's literally going to take you around the whole planet. So let's get into it. South Africa's initial uptick in COVID-19 cases involved principally the wealthy, meaning whites and those that had been traveling. However, if the coronavirus pandemic is not contained and community transmission increases, it could pose a very high risk to lower income communities, including those who must continue working, rely on public transportation, lack savings, cannot afford hygiene products, live in large households, and reside in informal settlements, right? And one thing about this, so we can see that all around the world, our people are suffering with savings. We're suffering when it comes to the necessities of being a free, independent people, right? And we're suffering economically. We're suffering socially, politically, educationally. We're suffering everywhere, right? Now, South Africa is supposed to be one of the strongholds or one of the most richest fluid nations in Africa. But our people over there are suffering the most. But we lack savings because due to education. So one thing that we provide as far as money, we teach our people and anybody that want to join us how to save, the proper way to save, because you cannot save paper. You cannot save paper. Did y'all know that the South African rand, it take about, I think it take like 1,000 rands to make $1. So it's a very deflated currency, right? So if it's that much to take to make $1, how much is it the dollar worth? You know, so we're seeing the effects on everybody being on a fiat currency based system. This is the whole world, and all of the major, really the majority of the people, you know, are suffering. But in South Africa, the whites are the minority and the blacks are the majority, but the blacks are still suffering, right? Just the total opposite over here. We the minority in America, and the whites are the majority, but the whites still got the wealth over here though. So what's wrong? So what's going on in our mind and what's going on with our education and what we know and what we believe and what we're studying? This is a global thing. This is not just in America where we're suffering like this. This is just not in South Africa where we're suffering like this. We're suffering like this all over. But we have to provide solutions. So us that know, We have to provide solutions because all of our people, whether they're in Africa, whether they're in America, whether they're in the Caribbean, whether they're in China, Europe, we need a system. We need institutions. This is what we need. This is a must. We need systems. So us, the wise that know this, not me, brother. I'm just a good student. Us that are good students and listen to the wise man, he always told us to look for systems and go and get in a system and attract out of a system what you can do and benefit for you and your people. So this is what we're providing for our money. We providing a system where the person is going to get taught what real money is. The person is going to get taught about banking. The person is going to get taught about finances. The person is going to get taught how to save. The person is going to get taught how to start a business and be shown how to start a business. And we're not charging anything for this. All you got to do is just come and plug into the system. That's it. So we're not running nothing. Well, I seen the brother was doing some selling real estate courses and all of this stuff, not knocking what nobody's doing, but in a time like this, who got the time to pay to learn about how to invest into something and not having a ready-made system? See, we need to come up with a ready-made system where the person can see it and just plug into it and start to attract for them and their family individually. This is what's needed. This is this time. So let me go. As the numbers increase, the spread of the virus will increase rapidly, reported Atlantic Council. Indeed, the number of cases in South Africa has skyrocketed from a reported 150 cases March 19 to a reported 5,350 cases April the 29th. Wow. That's about 6 weeks later. You talking about they went from 150 cases to over 5,000 in just over 1 month. According to the conversation.com, what South Africa needs to assist in migrating the pandemic is a wealth tax. See, man, why are we always asking them to tax their own? We're all see when we have to ask them to tax the wealthy, that means we don't understand how to build wealth. We don't understand group economics. We don't understand business and warfare. We don't understand the need for our own individual institutions. This is what we just don't understand it because we're always pleading from them to do something to their own. Now they might do it, but how much would it affect everybody if you still give a man a fish and don't teach him how to fish? Then he's just gonna constantly need a fish. You know, I mean, come on, man. And we're dealing in South Africa, and the blacks and our people are the majority in this country. In this country, they are the majority, but they still got to beg for them to tax the rich, tax the wealthy. Right? Come on, man. Our study reveals that half of the adult population survives with near zero savings. See, the saving part. See, our people suffering because we don't know how to save. Because we always want to save cash. And you can't save cash because due to inflation and due to the print of cash, it doesn't hold spending power over a long period of time. So the more you save, the more you really lose. So you have to move it into a hard asset. So this is, like I said, this is something else that we provide. We teach the science of asset versus liability and foreign money. This is what we teach. This is what we have to offer. And we got some more stuff to offer that I will reveal at the end of this. That's just some of it, right? Well, now listen, our study reveals that half of the adult population survives with near zero savings, while 3,500 individuals own 15% of the country's wealth. The response to the crisis must take this into account to help the most vulnerable while still safeguarding fiscal sustainability, the website reported. Another way of viewing South Africa's unequal society, reports HuffPost, is the fact that 10% of mostly white South Africans own 90% of the country's wealth. Golly. They got all the wealth. That means they got all of the assets. The wealth tax research professionals estimate on the richest 354,000 individuals could raise at least $7.9 billion. That would equate to 29% of the announced $27.75 billion fiscal cost of the relief package. Now let me go back to this other topic here, family. Check it out now. 10% of mostly white South Africans own 90% of South Africans' wealth. That means they got the land and they got all the resources in the land. 90%. Wow. It's very constant with our position here in South Africa. Most of us who have been calling for progressive taxation for quite a while, begging for them to do something. This shows we have no power. Begging for them to do something. Begging. That's begging. When are we going to stand up, unite, and do something for ourselves? But not only do we have to unite in South Africa, family, we have to unite in the United States. We have to unite in the Caribbean. We have to unite in Europe, China, everywhere that we're at. Brazil, South America, Central America. We have to unite the Pacific. We have to unite, family. We have to unite. So we can have a unified front. But as long as we're still going to work, paying taxes, the government is going to keep handling us like this, and we'll just keep passing this debt and this slavery, which is slavery and a job, go hand in hand together, right? They run congruent. Yes, they do. Not telling you shouldn't have a job, but you should always be looking for a way to retire early, right? You should not be looking to stay there for no 30, 40 years. Right now, you shouldn't even be looking at to stay there 2, 3 years. Because the way this thing is going, we don't know what the outcome is going to be when the pandemic is actually gone or it had to got better. You got countries and counties and cities and states right now that have implemented a full-time law where the citizens have to wear a mask. So we don't never know if social gathering is going to come back up. Right? We don't know if social gathering is going to happen again. We don't really know. The world has never seen this. So we can't say what it is. But let me go on. We have been calling for progressive taxation. We've been begging, what he's saying, for quite a while. But most importantly, such tax as we could levy the very rich in the country, said Rich Nakosi, founder and executive director of First Source Money and Public Banking of South Africa from his office in Pretoria. Family, Nakosi, who has worked on economic issues during the Mandela, Mbeki, and Zuma administrations, said almost all of those that control South Africa's wealth are white. Are white. So let's go even further. Absolutely, absolutely they are white. These are the people that have benefited immensely from the apartheid region, and they continue to benefit right now in this new dispensation here, and they are getting richer and richer and richer. Man, do y'all know that the South African apartheid is almost equivalent to what happened to us in America? The only difference is they didn't take the South Africans out of their land, right? South Africans always been there on that land. They didn't take them out of the land, but they put them in a form of bondage, and they took all of the wealth of the country. So we have been taken like this, been duped down, and we have been put to sleep. So now America owns all the wealth in America, where the Federal Reserve owns all of the real estate. They make a residual income from the printing and the moving of the dollar, right? They run the banking system. They control and manipulate the markets. They control it all. They got the whole system monopolized, right? But he goes on. He don't even stop there. They're getting richer and richer. And over here in America, the wealth gap is spreading further and further because us, only thing we want to think about is a job. I need a job. I need a job. I need a job. That's the only thing we want to think about. So we overlook constantly opportunities that could bridge and close this gap. But we don't sit around and we don't have the right attitude. We don't have the right mind to conquer. We don't have the right mind to do for self. They killed our desire to do for self, so we don't want to do for self. We would rather go work for somebody and pay taxes, go home, eat, and watch a ball game. We would rather do that than rather than pick up a book, read something about finance, listen to Otto, study wealthy people. No, we would rather go to work, read nothing, and worried about who won the NBA. I wanted the NBA season gonna finish. If the NBA, if the NFL gonna play, this is the stuff we worried about. What's going on in the entertainment, the celebrity industry? What's going on with them? Which ain't they ain't nothing but some rich slaves. What's going on in their world? Right? Come on, family. This is the issue, and it's just, and I'm showing this, and we're showing this here because we want to make the connection, the international connection that we are suffering globally. But until we stand up and do what's needed and come together like we need to, but when we unify, we got to be a one idea, one sound. And I was talking to my wife. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna keep going. I told her one day we was talking about unity and how we don't have any unity, right? And I was like, yeah. I was like, one thing about unity is that we weigh ideas, we bring the ideas to the table and we weigh it, and then whatever is the best idea for the person or for the people as a whole, that's what we go with. That's unity. That's unity. Not, okay, how we together and you over here doing your thing. We don't have a system. Okay, it's all right to go do your own thing when we have a system that everybody's functioning in. When we have a banking system, we got currency, we got our own currency. See, when we got our own, then everybody can do their own. But when we're talking about building for the future and becoming our own nation, an independent nation, we have to unify and everybody bring all of the ideas on the table when it comes with the way forward. And whoever has the best idea, whoever has the best solution, that's what we go with at that time. That's it. That's group economics, coming together for a common cause. And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, we need to just get with 6 or 8 like-minded people. That's a start. So when the Muslim Muhammad said that in Message to the Black Man, that's a start. See, if you go get with 6 to 8 business like-minded people, y'all go start something, then it spreads. Now you can bring other people into that idea. He said get with 6 to 8 like-minded to start an idea, not stay there, right? So when we're dealing with all bets are off, they're talking about it'll take a whole nother 200 years for us to catch white folks in wealth. We're still working at an all-time high. We still getting treated badly. We ain't getting no type of justice. No type of freedom is on the table. Everybody, the only way you free now because you at home and they cutting you an unemployment check, are you waiting on another stimulus check? This your taste of freedom. But you're waiting on a dying debt note that doesn't have any power. So we got to understand and weigh all of this and know what it is. Unity means we're going to come together we're going to come together as one, and everybody bring an idea and whatever is best. If we have to vote on it, we just vote on it. And nobody's to be in their body about what the outcome is be. They don't like your idea. That don't mean you can't still do your idea and go find people that like your idea or that like your system that you went to plug into. But like I said, us in Forward Money, we are really so ahead of the game because we are not even providing the idea. We are providing a system. We have found a system that's not tied to any government entity. Any government corporation is not tied to it. So it's more different than talking about this ain't no idea. This is already off the ground and rolling. It's already freeing people. It's already producing revenue for organizations, for churches, for malls, for mass jail. It's already doing that. And it's already producing individuals and freeing people up. Like me, I ain't had a job in almost 2.5 years. You know, I ain't had a job in 2.5 years, fresh out of prison, without touching anything illegal. Don't drink, don't smoke, nothing. Don't club, don't chase women, nothing. Right? And it took me 8 months from coming home to going full time and being a full time entrepreneur, business owner, brand owner. Right? So let's go on. And I'm going to stop here. Now, associate, whatever his name is, whose focus has been in macroeconomics, that's on a broader scale, money, banking, and development economics added, we have been calling on the government to say these people have to be taxed like everyone else. But these people have amassed immense wealth, obscene wealth, if you want to call it, just to the point that it would be sensible to tax these rich people. Studies have shown how extreme income inequality is in South Africa. But according to the conversation.com, little has been documented about wealth. Now, let's go even deeper. Net wealth is the sum of all assets less any debts. Meaning, if, let me break that down for the ones that don't know what net wealth means. Meaning, this is what it means, family. Net wealth means if you have 100,000, let's say 100 million in assets, right? But your liabilities is 50 million. That means your net wealth is 50 million. You split that in half. So if you were to have 100 million in assets and you only owe 1 million, your net worth would be 99 million. Y'all follow that? So they're saying that this is the wealth gap. We don't have any wealth. Now, net wealth is the sum of all assets less any debts. Follow that. Assets include cash. We don't call that an asset, but I guess you can use to acquire more assets. So in that sense, I guess it is. Bank deposit, pensions, life insurance, property, bonds, and stocks. Well, really, all of this is really fake assets, but in this world, I guess there is assets, right? None of this stuff that they talking about is any hard asset, right? Except for property, right? Debt includes mortgages and other loans, such as retail store credit accounts or loans from friends, family, and money lenders, the website explained. Now, the study may be the first of its kind, extended to all forms of assets. The richest 10% own 99.8% of bonds and stocks, which accounted for 35% of wealth. The top percentile are mainly white group and owns 60% of housing wealth and 64% of pension assets. Housing wealth amassed to 29% of wealth and pension assets to 33%. Man, this is deep, family. So this is just something that we finna wrap up, family. This broadcast will not go over 1 hour, right? Family, this is deep because given the circumstances and knowing what's going on, how everywhere you look, we're cornered. The wealth are getting wealthier, right? They're not stopping. So to end it, I can just show you in the issue that came out last Tuesday, where it talk about how so many billionaires got and millionaires got like what it said, $1.6 million or something like that, while they're giving the average working American 1,200, and some of them haven't even got it. I'm sitting here right now. Me and my wife, we ain't tripping, but my wife was working. She ain't got nothing. You feel what I'm saying? We haven't seen nothing in the mail. And she was working. So some of us ain't even got it. You know what I'm saying? And we seen it was only 350 million given to small business owners. The majority of the small business owners are black business owners. So if Trump is in the White House, Trump is never going to do anything to look out for the poor for real. You know, he's going to always look out for the wealthy. Why? Because he's wealthy. Them his boys, them his homies, right? Them his partners. You see, he beefing with Jeff Bezos company. You know what I'm saying? Look what he beefing with. Jeff Bezos considered the richest man in the world. That's what he beefing with. He ain't beefing with us running around him. No, they trying to keep us in this box. You feel what I'm saying? So what are we going to do? Family? So you can come here, go to the site, and we have books on here too. If you go to the main official site, this is a book that you should get. This is a prime book that you should get, The Fall of America, written by the Moshe Muhammad. That's detailing and that's telling us exactly what is happening right now. It's happening now. He wrote it in 73. I published it in 73, rather. And it's telling us what's happening right now. Then another book, I feel like every entrepreneur that want to know anything about banking, financing, business, you need this book right here. You need this book. This is a collector's item. This book is so powerful, Amazon won't even sell it. Amazon banned it, right? Family, this book is so powerful that Amazon banned it. So if you want to know how to be a real entrepreneur, how to be in banking, to understand money movement, group economics, you need to get this book right here. If you get no other book. This is like a guide. This is like the science of entrepreneurship in banking and network marketing. This is what this is, right? Study this book. Get this book. Go to the website. This book gonna run you about $20. This book about $7. So you can get both of these books on the Nation of Islam website, www.noi.org. You can go to the Final Call store Final Call, right? Well, all of these books that this book is 20, this book is about 7. So you can get both of these books for about $30, right? You can subscribe. So $50, $40, you can get both of these books. The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, how Jews can gain control of the Black American economy. It looked like they got control of the economy everywhere, but they're just dealing with America in the South, in the Mississippi Delta, in Alabama, Louisiana, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, all of it. South Carolina, they got it all. But they started in Mississippi, through the Delta, going through Alabama, Louisiana, all those places, right? But now they got it all because they found it and started the banking system, and they took over the print of money in 1913, right? So you can go get this book. So for $27, and you add another $13 to get you a 3-month subscription of the Final Call newspaper, you can have how much would that be? That's about $40. So for $40, you talking about a mental investment? You can get both of these books in a 3-month subscription to the Digital Final Call for $40. You can't beat that, man. Some of y'all buying weed that costs $40 a gram. Come on, man. You can't beat it, man. But we got to wake up. We got to separate our mind from the thinking on what the enemy has given us. It's not working. Clearly, it's not working. And it's not just not working here. It's not working nowhere on the planet. We are suffering. We are suffering everywhere on the planet. We are. We're suffering everywhere on the planet, family. So please join us, Forward Money. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forward Money. We on Twitter. We finna start tweeting. We on Instagram, Forward Money. Support our channels, family. We're gonna bring this out, and we're gonna have interviews on here. So for right now, Forward Money has 2 shows, but we do live almost every day where we break down the signs and highlight stuff, and we're bringing a solution, a global solution, right? So Tuesday night, to kick off the week, our Separation of Death broadcast every Tuesday night, and in the future, we're gonna have live interviews of entrepreneurs, people, but this title is Separation of Death. I know it's a hard title. A lot of people don't want to stomach that, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave us that title in 2017, and me and my organization, we have took it up to take it as an assignment. Separation of Death, business is warfare. This is what we own. This all we own. So this is not the place to come and get your spiritual vitamin from. We got other people to do that. We got other people in the nation that can give you that, can give you a clear understanding of what the Nation of Islam about on the mental level and all that. But we're giving it to you from the business aspect, that those 3 men in that back graph that you see on the screen. This is what they gave us. They came to free us mentally, and they came to free us financially. This is why they was raised. This is why Master Farad Muhammad came. This is why he raised the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This is why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad sent us the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan after his departure. Why? Because we have been suffering from those 2 elements since we've been in America. The physical change was taken off in 1865. But from then, we have been suffering with a mental inferiority mindset, and we have been lacking real group economics, real business, real entrepreneurship on how to build stuff and build a nation for our own and go for self. So with that being said, family, that's what we provide every Tuesday night right here at 10 o'clock Eastern time. Separate in our Future Money show every Saturday night at 10 o'clock Eastern time, right here, live, streaming live. So support our channel, click those links that you see going down the ticker, and donate to the cause, and get you a subscription and get you some books so you can get you some mental feed that builds on wealth principles, money principles, family. So do that. So with that being said, family, we want to thank everyone for joining. This was a powerful broadcast, and we will see y'all on the next broadcast this Saturday, the Future Money, 10 o'clock Eastern time. With that being said, family, we out of here. Assalamu alaikum.